All right, where the hell's my music at? Let's see here. Oh shit, that's right. Sign into chat. I hate that you have to open this in a web browser. So freaking annoying. All right, can I do? Let me find music real quick. Although I've discovered that with Streamlabs, apparently, even though when you have like copyright-free music, it doesn't do anything. Like I've had copyright claims on music that's supposed to be YouTube safe now at least half a dozen times, I think. I don't know. Pretty stupid. Let me see. Pretzel Rocks. What's cool though is if I stop streaming to Twitch primarily or in general, I probably could like stop paying for Streamlabs. Because what you pay for is like the ability to multi-stream, right? My music. And I've got it linked to my YouTube channel, so I don't know why Streamlabs would be pushing music that's not YouTube safe when they say, you know, YouTube safe. It's asinine. I don't get it. Yeah, I've got YouTube safe selected right there. Oh well. Really loud. Turn that down a second. Maybe if I just turn it down low enough, there won't be a problem either way. We'll see. So I need to finish modding Streamlabs to be primarily for YouTube. I have like all of my chatbots, I've got all my commands, my security, all that stuff is set up for Twitch. But I'm done. Like if I'm playing a game on YouTube, I might also stream it to Twitch at the same time. But I'm pretty much done with this crap with you. Twitch, I mean. I'm not wasting my time anymore. Website, the app is a dumpster fire. It's god awful. That's still really loud. Probably get it down a notch. There we go, just a little background music. Okay. So I was gonna talk about the latest with our good friend Eliza. I do have to find it though. Got the Daily Beast article pulled up. There's another article I saw. Apparently that goes kind of over the same stuff. I don't know, it's more of the same, at least that's the way it seems. But the crazy thing is that apparently now she's hitting people with privacy complaints. Which is, you know, it's one thing to say, I didn't consent to having my image taken, or I didn't consent to having it used like that, or something. Those are all things that I can legitimately say, okay, if there's a legitimate argument for one of those, maybe you've got something there. But that's not what's going on here. She made a music video, she got paid for it, she consented to it, and now that she's having like these issues come out with her story with the things that she claims about being trafficked and whatnot, and now we're having this regret that's kind of sinking in for her. Now, let's see. Can we pin something in the chat? I think I can do that. As much as anything, this is more or less, every time that I stream on YouTube, it is really just a test run. I want to make sure I know what I'm doing on here, because when it came down to like the Twitch system, I was pretty fluent in how to stream on Twitch and moderate it and chat bots and all that crap. This is the first time I've ever streamed to just YouTube and not actually been streaming to Twitch simultaneously. Very strange thing, very weird feeling. All right, let's see. No super chats yet, but I'm not gonna beg for doing it. I can't do that. Oh man, why would I do that? That's so weird though that Streamlabs won't let you, they won't let you chat, like built in here to the actual software. Guess we'll leave this popped open then, because I can't even like put anything in the chat if I need to. Oh, speaking of which, I modded Streamlabs for YouTube here. Where the hell is that at? Alright, well, no big deal. It's all good. Alright, let's start with... I kind of want to talk about this thing with Frosk. I haven't talked about her for a while. Latest and greatest with her. Apparently, there's more to the story about the sexism in gaming rant. I don't know if I really care that much about her explanation. I mean, literally, she can say that they didn't have her back and all that, which I get. She was led to believe that if she went on this epic rant about toxic gamers and toxic masculinity and shit, that she'd have somebody that had her back, right? Well, clearly that's not what happened. They kind of screwed her up. I can feel bad for her in that one respect, but it's like, you know, it's still the opinions that she has. She still said the things she said. So anyways, from Bounding into Comics, we have this one here from Frosk. Former ex-play host Frosk says infamous sexism in gaming rant. Partly inspired by her experiences at G4, I cannot believe more stuff hasn't come out. Now, I read through the article. We'll kind of go through it together. I don't know what she's alluding to when she says, I cannot believe more stuff hasn't come out. I mean, we all remember the crap with Blizzard and Activision and Ubisoft and all these other companies that had all this junk come out about them, right? All these parties and sexual harassment and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what you expect to hear. But she alludes to it without actually naming it, which is kind of weird. So we'll just kind of go through this together here. Need to move that over? No, I think that's probably pretty good placement. A little far to the right, but we'll just roll with it. Alright, in the aftermath of Comcast's shuttering of their short-lived attempted G4 revival, while her former co-host had taken to throwing... Oh, okay, yeah, they're talking about what's his face here? Sessler, Adam Cesspool. Indiana Frosk Black has chosen to offer insight into the event that heralded its eventual downfall, her now infamous sexism and gaming rant. So, this interview, I can't really decide if it's like more of the same or if she's trying to like make an excuse for it or what. So the interviewer, Pishki, asked her what was happening to Frosk that you were in the position where you felt like this needed to be said. In turn, Frosk revealed that the first embers of her rant were sparked by her experiences trying to pay attention to everything that was happening online around G4 during a period fairly early on in its announcement. Does she need to mute this website? Oh no, we got it muted. Good. Adam Sessler, I tell you what, this dude is insane. Yeah, this is an old one. This is from like mid-January. Yeah. Dude is a complete nutbag. Over the months leading up to it, everywhere I looked, if it was on YouTube or Reddit or Twitch, every platform, people were just talking about how much they used to masturbate to Morgan Webb. I spent an awful lot of time online. Granted, I wasn't one of like the G4 viewers. I watched it like once in a while at the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning. But like, this is something I feel like Frosk is fixating on, to be honest. I don't feel like it's something that anybody else might have actually been focusing on as much as her. You know, when something bothers you about somebody or something bothers you about a group of people, the things they do that bother you kind of like go to the forefront, they kind of stick out. Versus, you know, how much was it really said? Who knows? But apparently to Frosk, the way people talked about Morgan Webb was the thing that drove her crazy. So, okay, that's... If any of it's true, then fine. I can understand that to a certain degree. She was like, this is so strange that on social media, people are just making all these crude, not even jokes, but just really crude statements. Dude, have you been online before? Like, honest to God. What is happening where we've missed the barrier to the decision making to think something, type it out, to hit enter and send? Well, you know, this is the thing about society nowadays. We've gotten to a point where we literally will talk about the most disturbing, disgusting things with each other like it's normal. I mean, people spend time talking about the fetishes they're into and things they like to view with said fetishes. That's like commonplace. So it's like, you can't really tell me that she's all deeply offended over this kind of stuff. I don't. Oh, hello. Get rid of that. That seems to me to be like, I feel like she's just clutching her pearls. Just like she's trying to double down on this. I don't know. Shifting her attention to the X-Play segment in which her anger eventually boiled over, Frosk detailed how it's supposed to be like a New Year's gripes thing. I could kind of get that. So we'd be like, this thing really annoyed me. In the new year, let's start fresh and do a New Year's rant, she told Pishki. Originally, I was supposed to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2's online. I was going to blast Rockstar, and this was even before they decided to just leave games online to die. I didn't remember hearing about Red Dead Redemption 2 online dying. That's news to me. However, after doing rehearsals where the on-screen team want to keep our rants secretive so we don't record them or do them, everyone took a lunch break, whereat Frost's rant truly began to take. Whoever did the typing for Bounding into Comics, I mean, I love the website, but to be freaking honest, horrible job editing this article. There's like so many freaking typos. None of it makes sense. It's really poorly written. And I go to lunch and I'm sitting with network producer Emily Rose, director Gabrielle Thomas, and co-executive producer Megan Lutz. And I don't remember why it was brought up, but the discussion at the table really just kind of turned into our different experiences as women in the industry. God, I hate it's like comes into gender. Like, oh yes, my experience is based on what I'm packing between my legs. And also in that specific studio of having really sexist and gross experiences, she recalled. I was like, why is that so prevalent in this industry? Because your target customer is a horny teenager. I mean, it's really not that hard to figure out. Your target customer is like between the ages of 13 and 25. You're talking about the peak of male testosterone flowing through their veins. Like, give me a break. Can't figure out why all these guys are so horny all the time. Because they're guys. Now, I mean, that doesn't justify everything they say and do, obviously. You have to keep it in your pants. But, I don't know. It just seems like cope at this point. Like, it's so bizarre, Frosk opined on the matter. I've worked in 4 different Riot offices, and Riot obviously went through the massive lawsuit about gender discrimination. But just like the stuff that I've seen working 10 years in esports, I thought that going into mainstream broadcasting would make it better. I don't know. I don't know anything about the esports scene. I kind of find esports to be really cringy. So for me, like, esports just not happening. But while she said while said she, this guys, proofread. Yeah. She said she thought the esports was like the Wild West, where you don't have a lot of people with white collar business experience, and that it was going to get better going into G. That was a mistake. These issues reportedly only got so much worse going into G4. Specifically in that studio, she added, I cannot believe more stuff hasn't come out. Specifically in the studio. See, that right there makes me think she's talking about behind the scenes with the actual co-workers, the higher-ups, things that, we're not hearing about. Because then they address the rant later in this article about how she was basically, she did the rant for like the 2,000 people that were watching, specifically referring to the people in the Twitch chat that were saying the things that she was talking about. And then, like, this makes it sound like it's not anything to do with the audience, but like the actual people that she works with. All right, Frost next explained how that after that lunch, she returned to the studio and decided to change the topic of her rant, shifting it from Rockstar's. Dude, I need to email whoever the editor is over at Bounding into Comics. They have got to get their shit together. This is like the 7th typo I've already found in this freaking article. This is terrible. Shifting it from Rockstar's multiplayer failings to her aggrieved frustrations with her and her coworkers' personally sexist experiences. Retracing the chain of events, she stated, so I hash out the rant, I give it to X-Play showrunner Michael Leffler and Megan. You wonder how much money the Waz got from G4? I have no idea, to be honest. And thanks for the congratulations. That whole video, the one about Eliza, like, I had a Henry Cavill video that kind of blew up last year and got like 21,000 views, which was cool. It got me a few, like, maybe 50 subs. I can't remember what the actual number is. That Eliza one, I have no idea what happened with that one. It was insane. But dude, I mean, like, okay, so this article, she's talking about how she doesn't understand how more hasn't come out about the G4 work experience, right? But for me, that makes it feel like it's not just the audience, it's about like the actual higher ups that she was working with, like it's a Ubisoft kind of situation or Blizzard or something. That whole, what do they call that? The cubicle, where the guys were crawling through the cubicles and trying to cop a feel over at Blizzard. I mean, I don't know. It just cracks me up because all that this basically feels like to me is cope. She goes on in the article like to explain how, well, she thought that they had her back because they told her to just go for it, and what was his name, Jared or Gerard or whoever his name is here. This dude was basically going to have the exact same New Year's rant as Frosk, and so he told her, "No, you covered it. You just go ahead and do it yourself, right?" And then like she went and she talked to whoever, like the director and stuff, and they all told her, "Oh yeah, we got your back. Just go for it." And then basically, when the shit hit the fan, they noped out and left her kind of standing there holding the baggage, which I find funny. Like, don't get me wrong, I can feel bad for her, but it's like, oh yeah, business is a massively cutthroat industry. That's the way it be. That's how it is. But yeah, I don't know if there's any legitimacy to this or not. Frosk claimed to be like getting doxxed and having people like trying to swat her and stuff. Well, she said that she called her local police to make sure she didn't get swatted. I don't know. That to me kind of feels like you're trying to... Makes it feel like you almost hope you would get swatted because then you can turn in and say, "Ha, look what a victim I am." I don't know. I could be wrong, but I didn't realize she claimed in this article that after the whole sexism in gaming rant blew up, she claims that she decided to delete her entire Twitter to make sure that there weren't images that could be used, basically like to geolocate her to figure out where she's at. And I don't remember her ever leaving Twitter, to be honest. Like, it doesn't sound familiar to me. I didn't even realize I was following her. I thought, okay, so handsome man in a flannel shirt. Well, it's not me. I'm wearing a hoodie. Oh, you're talking about Frosk. Oh, yeah. This, like, I wear flannel, just not right now. Right now, I'm in my PJs, basically. Frosk acting like Tom Brady. You know the funny thing? I've been more or less a Tom Brady fan for a while, just because I'm like, look, I get why people don't like him, but at the same time, he just might be one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. But I understand the people that don't like him. I get it. But yeah, honestly, this is whole... I mean, I don't know. So, when was the rant? The rant happened... That was the beginning of 2022, right? October. Maybe she means she just like deactivated her account temporarily, but I don't remember her ever deactivating her account. October 10th. September. I mean, there's a lot of tweets here for somebody who claims they deactivated their account. I haven't seen any time like taken off. Late 2021? Oh yeah, I guess it was. It was going into 2022. Yeah, August. So I don't know. So that sucked, and it was definitely like a low point, but outside of that, it was business as usual. I stopped using a lot of social media, didn't go on YouTube. What on God's green earth is she talking about? I remember her tweeting a ton after that whole sexism in gaming thing, like non-stop. Not quite as bad as Adam Sessler. This dude's a nut job, but like, I don't know. That was whatever. Basically, the article's just her going on to blame for her bosses for not backing her up, which is whatever. Let's see, taking adventure Taking adventure of the opportunity, dude. Okay, I'm after we get done with this stream, I'm gonna go and email Banning into Comics and say, look, guys, you got to get a better editor or proofread. He'll freaking hire me. I'll work remotely. I'll do all your proofreading and editing and shit. This is terrible. Frosk then surprised Pishke with the brief story of how our producer on the networks attacked the show, said at the office in front of people, the reason that X-Play is failing is because they don't have any hot people like Morgan Webb on their show. He literally said that, she affirmed. I mean, not wrong. And I wasn't even like, I didn't go crazy over Morgan Webb. Like, I mean, I've seen pictures of her. I didn't really watch her on the show. And I'm like, okay, she's a nice looking girl, whatever. See. This article doesn't make any sense. Ultimately, Frosk admitted if they had asked me, I would have said, do not clip that. Oh, I think she must be talking about the rant. Did I care? She reflected. It's hard. Did I mean everything that I said? Yeah, but that's in the context of like, I know only 2,000 people are watching. Okay, that's another hilarious thing. She's admitting that nobody watched their freaking network. Because she's like, oh, I knew only 2,000 people were watching it anyways, so what big deal, you know? What does it matter? Why is my chair not rocking back? There we go. Frosk have an okay following before G4. She came out of nowhere and got a job at G4. I mean, as far as I know, she appeared like in the esports scene. But as little as I even watched G4, I knew less about Frosk. Like, I don't know if she was a gamer or let's see, fandom wiki. So, yeah, I gotta get a pop, like an ad blocker. All the cool kids have them, I have nothing. Okay, so team history. I'm confused. These must be esports teams, I guess. A Chinese team. What? Dude, I don't understand esports. I don't get it. I have no idea how this stuff works. All right. From Tigard. Oh, she's from Oregon. She's in my neck of the woods. Okay. She's my southern neighbor. Now it all makes sense. Color caster for the English cast of the LPL and also for hosting China Talk, a weekly talk show that discusses ongoing events that impact the Chinese scene. That's a really weird job. In May 2014, Froskuren joined RMU as a coach of their League of Legends team. Okay, so yeah, basically, to answer your question, she was a nobody. She was involved in coaching and hosting for cast of the LPL. What is that? The hell is the LPL? I feel like a boomer right now. Leaguepedia League. Oh, okay. Discussing the Chinese League of Legends scene. So it has something to do with League of Legends. All right. A game I've never played. I don't even think I've seen anybody play it. Like, not even like a Twitch stream. A streamer that I followed played it. I've just tuned out completely. But yeah, I don't understand how you get new ownership at G4, and then all of a sudden people decide, okay, this thing that worked before when we were still doing well, let's not do that thing anymore. Let's do something completely opposite when we rebrand it and pretend that it's going to work. I mean, my God. Yeah. I mean, it explains why she's so into esports. That's literally how she got her start. Let's see here. Chinese state-run company. I had the same thought. Like is she she in bed with China? You know. Dude, the funny thing is, like, all these Eliza Bleu articles that are coming out, it pisses me off because my video, somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody along the line on Twitter had basically like gotten me thinking about this Eve's Angels place, right? And so I had looked into it. I'd seen someone referenced the Donewald v. Donewald case, and I was like, okay, I should look into this. Nobody else looked into it before I did. I did not see a single YouTube creator covering Eve's Angels. And then I tried to get the quartering to cover it. I was like, dude, you got to look up Annie Donowald. You know, look up this court case. I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it to Brittany Venti. I know I mentioned it to the investigative guy, Manuel DeFango. And nobody else was like pursuing that angle. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, because nobody else is reporting on it, freaking Daily Beast makes this article. And I swear to God, I had mentioned the Daily Beast and said, hey, you should look into this, right? And I linked my video down below. And then in their freaking article, they actually reached out to Eve's Angels. They tried to contact Annie Donowald. They referenced the court case. I'm like, you know, I got there 5 days before you bastards. I get no credit for it whatsoever. And I know I didn't do all the research. Somebody else turned me on to the case, and I wish that I could remember who it was. It was just somebody on Twitter. I saw somebody reference it. But like, I didn't see anybody else actually covering it. So now, like, I'm a little worried, to be honest, because like, I've had copyright claims on videos, no strikes, just copyright claims. But what I'm worried about now is like, am I going to get a privacy complaint? Because, you know, my video is not like the quarterings that has 500,000 views or 50,000, but my video got like 24,000. So now I'm kind of thinking, is that going to be like, am I going to be getting an email from YouTube sometime in the next few days? Because honest to God, I will not delete the video. There's no way. That would be awful for my channel's analytics. There's not a chance in hell that I would allow that to happen. But at the same time, I don't have the money to pursue a legal case against her. I don't have that. I'm not that kind of person. So yeah, I mean, all the rest of the stuff coming out about her, like this article from Sportskita, the one from Daily Beast. The Daily Beast one, to me, I want it to be true, but being that it's Daily Beast, I kind of feel like at least half of it's going to be kind of suspect. But the fact that they talked to somebody that she was friends with, that they can verify that she was at least friendly with, and she claims that Eliza tried to get her into escorting, I'm like, holy crap, this is bad for her. Like, really, really bad. I don't know. But again, I have my doubts because it's Daily Beast. And despite the fact that Eliza Bleu, I don't believe she's actually some like libertarian, capitalist, right-wing, whatever terminology that the Daily Beast would use for her, I don't believe that she's actually as right-wing as she claims she is. I think she's just grifting, like Jack Murphy, like everybody else just like her. But unfortunately, you know, you kind of have to go with the Daily Beast. You got to go with the left-wing outlets on this one because the right-wing guys aren't covering it, which is asinine. Like, I mean, I know it's not necessarily like the biggest story that Fox News or somebody should be covering, but New York Post, I mean, hell, let's go to New York Post Twitter. Check this out, okay? I had to comment on this one earlier because it cracked me up. New York Post is basically like what? Right-wing, center-right when it comes to the news that they report on, the way that they actually report on the stories. So mixed in here with sports, you know, the Nets, all that kind of stuff, local sports and all this other shit. Where was this article? It was like, oh my God, I should have saved it. I should have bookmarked it. But yeah, then they'll do stuff like this, okay? This is the New York Post for you. Teacher who made videos in classroom vows revenge on friend who exposed her. Okay? Why is that news? Mixed in with everything else, you get that crap. Like, okay, so places, outlets like the New York Post, you could cover the Eliza Bleu thing. I mean, you'll talk about articles like that. You'll post that kind of shit. But this dude, this is great. Nudist 29 can continue to walk the streets naked. Court rules. And the funniest part is the wording. Continue to walk the streets, and he's got a bicycle right here. I can't even imagine, like, the thought of riding a bicycle naked. Just so many horrible mental images are coming into my brain right now. I can't even. But yeah, like, that's not even the one I was thinking of. There was one earlier that was really bad. But yeah, no mention of Twitter, no mention of Elon, no mention of Eliza, nothing. Mixed in with all of this filler crap, they could have put one in there. Why Vanessa Hudgens went from dating Hollywood stars to baseball prospect Cole Tucker. Who gives a shit? Like, is Vanessa Hudgens even relevant anymore? Let's see here. Oh, so someone finally actually talks about this this congresswoman that was killed. Husband of slain New Jersey Councilwoman Eunice Dwumfor posts bizarre birthday Facebook post. What? Oh my god, this I have to see. Yeah, this is a story that nobody's really talking about. The husband of Councilwoman Eunice Dwumfor, who was gunned down Wednesday, made a bizarre Facebook post wishing his wife a happy birthday even though it's still more than a month away. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's thinking ahead to the fact that that's going to be coming up. I mean, I can't imagine if my wife was shot and killed outside of our house. Like, I don't know. Damn, I'm not going to be able to find the one that I saw earlier that just cracked me. Oh, this one. This one right here. This is the best one. I'm a hot babysitter. I love taking care of dads when kids go to bed. Literally, the New York Post. I mean, I get it. You run out of stuff to talk about eventually. But how in God's name is this worth talking about? So yeah. But again, you got to go with the left-wing guys because they're the only ones talking about it because they feel like they have something to gain. They got an axe to grind against her because getting to her will get to Elon maybe. Who knows? But to be fair, I mean, like, we all made the assumption. It's just an assumption at this point that she has anything to do with Elon Musk. Like, that's very likely all her. Like, to be fair, there's no telling that her and Elon are actually an item, that he actually backs her in any way. He retweets a lot of people. I mean, look at that Yoel Roth guy, okay? He had Yoel Roth's back 2 weeks before he fired him. It's like the minute he realized this guy was scum, he cut him loose. So maybe he'll do the same thing with her. I don't know. All I know is I've never trusted Elon. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, which not very far because he's probably twice my size. But something is really fishy going on at Twitter. Between everybody privating their accounts, between like... Well, the other thing is with this whole YouTube thing, I feel like somebody at YouTube is censoring the Eliza videos. Because my Eliza video, my second one, got to like 20,000 views within the first 48 hours. Okay? And it was still relevant. It was still breaking. Nobody had really covered it yet. It was just gaining traction. And then all of a sudden, the video just slowed down. And I think the video is like sitting at 24,000 views finally right now. But for whatever reason, the actual algorithm just shut it down. Yeah, it's sitting at 24,000 at 7 days. So it's been up for a week. Technically 8 days if you count. I uploaded at like midnight. So I don't know who at YouTube is doing it, but to be fair, I feel like there's people on the inside at Twitter protecting her, and there's probably people on the inside of YouTube protecting her, to be honest. It would not shock me one bit. Oh, and I love how she switches her vernacular, you know, the black scent, depending on who she's talking to and where. She also revealed that there were negotiations that took place after she proposed the idea to take part in one of their music videos. Proof that Eliza Bleu consented to the world star hip-hop eye candy. Oh yeah, this is the video. I'm not going to play it because like this is one of those videos where the audio is getting people in trouble. Why is it minimized? Wait, was this posted by... Oh, this was from the Tim Pool Reddit. He didn't actually post it. Yeah, dude, somebody was saying that Tim Pool was actually saying that they were going to take the day off today because there wasn't that much to talk about. And sure enough, like, they had their show this evening, but the Timcast, his little 30-minute monologue thing he does in the afternoon, which sometimes is decent to listen to, he didn't record anything. There was absolutely no upload whatsoever. Yeah, Daniel Cotton over at WorldStar. We've all seen this, I'm pretty sure. She was paid for the video. We own full rights. Anything further can be addressed via legal. Let's just kind of skim through this here, see if there's anything that we haven't just figured out yet. The influencer is best known for appearing in interviews alongside public figures, including Ben Shapiro. I didn't know that she talked to Ben Shapiro at some point. I knew, like, Dr. Drew, yeah, and Tim Pool. Her friendship with Twitter CEO Elon Musk has also gained her massive traction online. She describes herself as a human trafficking survivor advocate and a survivor herself. Which, honestly, if she just cut this part off, she could have been like, look, think about it this way. If she'd approached the entire situation like, I was a call girl, I was an escort, I was a stripper, I did this, I did that to survive, I did all these things, so I understand what it's like to have to live in that situation where you're doing things that you wouldn't do otherwise if you had control over it, but just left it at that. If she hadn't said, I was forced to do this, I was trafficked, I was sold, I was bought and paid for, those kind of terms, that's the terminology that's gotten her in so much trouble. Because if people had just heard her say, I've been through this lifestyle, I've seen what it does to people, so I'm advocating against it, problem solved, right? She could have still done her advocating. She could have been an advocate. She could have been this whole anti-trafficker and all this stuff, which again, she wouldn't, because she needed that to legitimize her story. Because she wanted the money, she wanted the fame, she wanted the attention, she wanted the limelight, she wanted Elon Musk's attention. So without the story of her being a survivor herself, it never would have happened. If she wanted to just help people, she could have just said, I've been through something similar, so I'm going to help you. But it wasn't ever about that. And I think that's kind of like the proof right there. Now, I don't know anything about this Sportskeeda website, but it says she played a massive role in Twitter's content moderation. I think that's a broad generalization. She pretended to play a role in content moderation, but she did have an active role in censoring people on Twitter. So it's like, you got to be careful how you word that, because she didn't actually have as much influence on content moderation as she claims she did, and there's proof of that now, that those hashtags she said she got removed never went away. The content that she said that she helped censor and get rid of never left Twitter, okay? I'm honestly starting to think, from somebody who was enjoying the shit show, somebody who thought that Elon Musk buying Twitter was funny, somebody who thought, hey, maybe he could actually fix it, somebody who saw what he did after he bought Twitter, all the leftists melting down, some of the changes that I liked, some of the changes I didn't like. I was getting to the point where I was like, you know what? If I actually ever get some videos that were worth uploading to multiple platforms that were worth paying for, I'll pay for Twitter Blue, $8 a month. If you get ad revenue from it, if you get potential for making money, sure. What's the harm? It's just another website, basically, at that point. At this point now, there's not a chance in hell, like the way things are now, that I would ever pay to do anything with Twitter. I mean, Twitter's hilarious. It's always been a dumpster fire. I use it to collect information, but other than that, it's like, it's for shit posting. And until I see something improve, there's not a chance I would pay $8 a month or $10 a month or $2 a month for what? For a website that keeps getting worse. It's a buggy mess. It has the same kind of censorship it had before. Nothing has improved. Like, literally nothing has gotten better. The only difference is now you have more pissed off leftists, and now you have a bunch of people on the right side of things pissed off as well. It's like, that's not exactly what people were hoping was going to happen. It's unfortunately the situation we have now, but it's not making anybody happy. Which, to be fair, Elon said he wasn't going to make anybody happy. He said he wasn't going to make the right happy or the left. He was going to try to make the centrists happy. The problem is now he's also censoring the centrists, which is completely hypocritical based on what he himself had already said. So, okay, and seems to have helped Musk in the removal of abusive material. See, this article is getting it all wrong. She hasn't done any of that. She also aided the new Twitter CEO in his campaign against the platform's now former trust and safety Yoel Roth. Maybe she tweeted a couple times, I don't know. She seems to be a key figure in how platform operates and her recent censorship controversy involving her having accounts temporarily suspended from the site. Many have a keen interest in her life and her background. No shit. Daily Beast exposed her with help. I'm gonna get my little 2 cents in here. I did more investigative work with about Eve's Angels than they did. by talking to her now former friend. Carly Wenzel, see, this is what the Daily Beast has in their article. Carly Wenzel revealed that she was completely lying about her past. Based on the timeline of her human trafficking experience, Eliza Bleu revealed that she was first groomed by a famous photographer she had met at a Warped Tour concert in Chicago when she was just 16 years old. And that was one of those timeline things that didn't work out in the first place, because of the bands that she said were on the Warped Tour weren't there that year, and then other friends said she was in her 20s. The whole thing was just a botched mess. Once she met him in Chicago after she was promised that he would make her a star, I'm thinking about that Family Guy thing with Mickey, or Minnie Mouse. You want to be a star, don't you? Take it off. She then traveled to LA for the same, where she claimed to be sexually assaulted while drugged on methamphetamine. She also claimed that she was sold for $500. And this is the funniest thing, because that $500 thing comes up later on in the article, where she tried to get her friend to escort with her. Okay? So that's probably further up in this article here. Guess we'll have to go to the Daily Beast article. This one doesn't have very much on there. But yeah, in the Daily Beast article, her friend claims, this Wenzel chick, that this number here, yeah, $500 to a sex trafficking ring in the Hollywood Hills. Claims that her friend, Eliza's friend claims that Eliza tried to get her, even though she was married, this Wenzel chick, to go escorting with her, and that she could make $500 a night. So interesting that $500 is the number that Eliza claims that she was sold into trafficking for. And this is the weirdest thing too. She did not recall Bleu calling home to the Quad Cities with tales of being addicted to ice or living with a trafficked group of transgender women in the Hollywood Hills. She claims that she was like mixed up in some ring where she was living in gang war territory. She had to sleep on the floor. She had these transgender women that were being trafficked along with her. I'm like, I kind of wonder now, can we find a birth certificate for Eliza and see if she was born like Elijah or Eli or something? I'm really curious if, she's had some operations. Wenzel said she keeps seeing these stories out of LA and believes that absolutely didn't happen. By 2005, Bleu was back in Illinois and eventually earned a cosmetology license. Well, that explains the hair. Bleu began touring as a traveling stylist for musicians, where she received her first taste of internet controversy. Yeah. My Chemical Romance, Eliza Cuts, we know that part. Yeah, her friend said she slept on the floor, but by choice, because she was into those floor pillows at the time. She eventually bought a bed. Like the ex-roommate, Wenzel scoffs at the idea that Bleu lived in a dangerous neighborhood. Wenzel, who by then was married with a child, said she brought her toddler to visit Bleu and the roommate at their apartment. Hardly the front line of a gang war, exactly. I mean, yeah, I got my 3 kids. I'll just go visit friends in the Hilltop area over here in Tacoma. Yeah, sure, why not? Totally safe, no big deal. That is so not true, Wenzel said. She lived in a really cute apartment. They're the whitest girls you could ever meet. There was no gang activity. These people, I swear to God. Like, everyone, this is my problem with guys like Cernovich. And yeah, Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate, I feel like Andrew Tate and Eliza Bleu, they belong together, to be honest. Like, he's got his own grift. She's got her own grift. Tucker. Hey, kitty. Oh, you're trying to get her to play with you? Okay, well, good luck with that. I feel like between the two of them with their grift, if they could just put their grifts together, they could be like the biggest slime ball power couple you'd ever seen. But, whatever. Under her new online name, Bleu began to dance as a video vixen in mostly low-budget music videos. A YouTube playlist that appears to have been compiled by Bleu herself shows her gyrating videos. Wait, have I seen this? Oh, this is that Gonna Feeling Myself one. No, this is not it. Here we go. Oh, it's an ad for Hogwarts. I'm like, what? Can't imagine an instance where she'll ever be trusted again. I mean, why would you trust her is the question. Oh, yeah, I've seen this one. This is but the whole point of this is that she put the playlist together herself. These are all videos that she was in. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty incriminating, right? Oh, here she is. Here she is. Because yeah, if you were being held against your will, basically trafficked, if you were being forced to do these things, you would go on, make yourself a YouTube account, and create a playlist of the music videos that you were trafficked into, because this is like 4D chess. What she was doing, she was trying to reach out and get help by putting the videos out. I don't know. I can't even, dude, I can't even fathom like how this person thinks that any of this makes her look like she was like a victim. I just can't even. And now with the whole the privacy okay, so it was one thing when she abused her power at Twitter to get people like the Quartering, Brittany Venti, Manuel Defengo, a bunch of people, myself included, like tiny pissant people like me. I have a Twitter account with, well, I got like 30 new followers because with this whole Eliza Bleu thing. But my account, I was under 200 followers on Twitter, and she got my account banned. Okay, well, suspended. But like, she got everybody. She got the anonymous troll accounts. She got the accounts with like 30, 40, 50,000 followers. So that I can understand. What I don't understand is how her level of influence, this person that, if you talk to my mom, if you talk to people in the grocery store, nobody knows who Eliza Bleu is, okay? She's virtually a nobody when it comes to like outside of Twitter. But this person somehow has connections enough between Twitter and YouTube, well, Google, because they own YouTube, to start privacy striking, copyright claiming. I mean, who the hell is this person? And her dad's really a nobody. Her dad's a politician, but he's a pissant. Tiny little nobody. Like, give me a break. I can't even. So yeah, I mean, I think the damage is done. I mean, with these articles coming out, I'm dying though. I'm dying to see the whole Shane Cashman from Timcast. See what he actually comes up with. Definitely mad that she and the wrong rapper is named Gunna. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, with Timcast, with Tim Pool, I've been one of those people that I've kind of like, I don't stick up for him because I don't really care for fence sitting. Like, I'm okay with being like, well, I'm pretty centrally based here, and then I've got some opinions here and some opinions here. But he does this thing where he just intentionally doesn't want to take sides because he just wants to play like devil's advocate, which gets kind of annoying. But then it's like, okay, let's say Shane Cashman and Eliza have a history, which they do. It's on Twitter. It's documented that the two of them are buddy-buddy. But does Tim Pool owe Eliza Bleu anything? I mean, does he have a reason to protect her? You interviewed her. I mean, you interviewed Jack Murphy, although Jack Murphy he was buds with, and they were tight. So I get that was a little bit more embarrassing. Eliza, he should have no problem just saying, well, we had a bad guest on there. He's had people on there that I'm like, how the hell did that person get on there before? I don't know. But then to do this thing where the Shane Cashman Twitter thing where he posted a photo with her and she's all like, oh, he's gonna get the whole story and we were working day and night to get this. Who's writing the article? Are you dictating the article for Shane here? Are you the one actually like writing the article? Is this like a ghostwriter kind of situation? Oh yeah, so these I can't click on that. Damn. Why is this not a clickable link? Oh, you guys suck. These are like embedded videos. They're not links to take away from the article. I mean, very smart. They don't want people to leave in. That's not even clickable either. All right. Let's just go find Chrissy Maris. Seems to promote people like this. If it happens a third time, it's a pattern. 100%. 100% agreed. And that's sad because I like to watch a wide variety of people. I mean, I watch Styx Hexenhammer. He's definitely a liberal. I watch Tim Pool. He's moderate, Quartering, moderate right. Just a bunch of people's opinions, different Lotus Eaters, you know, they got a lot of classic liberal moderates on there and stuff. So I like to get my opinion. I mean, I have my own opinion, but I like to get like the opinion of other people who might see things a slightly different way. It might not shake my opinion too much, but at least I can understand where they're coming from. It kind of helps you to learn, helps you to grow, and to have a more nuanced opinion of why do I feel this way? Well, if they can present the alternative, I can kind of understand where they're coming from. But like, yeah, Tim, if he keeps having these people on his show that are just complete scum, I mean, I know that he's had Cernovich, Michael Malice. Malice, okay, funny story. I got blocked by Michael Malice about a year ago on Twitter. And I don't know what I did. I don't know specifically, like, I didn't do anything to troll him. He's the king troll. Like, don't start shit with Michael Malice on Twitter because he'll just either block you or he'll get you ratioed. But he had posted a picture with Blair White. He captioned it. He's like, the two of us walk over and buy you and your wife or you and your girlfriend a drink. What do you do? And I said, sorry, too much penis for me, right? I mean, I thought it was funny. That's too many wieners, or I can't remember what I said. The next time I went and looked at his account, I was blocked. I'm like, dude, it was a joke. Like, Michael Malice, for being one of these like edgy ANCAP shit posters, thinnest fucking skin on the planet. Because I had never interacted with him any other time. But it was a joke because Blair was trans and it's Michael Malice. He's a guy. So I'm like, okay, it's a little too much penis for me. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, Michael Malice, I get really sketchy vibes from him. Cernovich, with his whole past, I mean, there's no question. He's just dirty as hell. Cernovich buddies with Jack Murphy. Jack Murphy, Tim Pool. Cernovich, Tim Pool. Tim Pool, unfortunately, and there's a lot of Cassandra Fairbanks. Let's talk about Cassandra for a second. Cassandra is somebody that the little bit that I interacted with her on Twitter, I liked her. The whole monkey thing, monkey see, monkey do. I mean, I thought was cool if she's taking care of the monkeys. Like, hey, no big deal. The funny thing is Blair White thinks that crap is funny. Exactly. Like, I didn't know who that would have offended more, him or her. Like, whatever. It's just a joke. It was just like, I'm just shit posting. But then the next day I look and I'm blocked. I'm like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, Cassandra, she has gone nuts with her defense of friggin' Eliza. I'm like, holy shit, this woman. I mean, to the point where she's just being an all-out biatch about it. I don't know if she's still posting about it or not. Okay, well, to be fair, she is retweeting BX Bullet, which, funny story about this BX Bullet chick. She has a beef with Destiny, who is annoying. Oh my god. I tried listening to Destiny on Lauren Chen, and whoever Lauren Chen was co-hosting her election stream with. Lauren Chen and Lauren Southern. And the two of them had Callum and Carl Benjamin, both from Lotus Eaters. Somebody else, and then Destiny hopped on with them. And Destiny would not shut up to save his life, okay? Jack Posobiec, another one. And Jack Posobiec's a guy that I really liked. But I'm getting fishy vibes from him too. It's at the point now, I think Quarter Black Garrett summed it up best. He had posted this meme that was basically like, everything sucks, you know, can't trust anybody. I'm like, yeah, that's basically where we're at now. But yeah, this BX Bullet chick, she had this thing with Destiny, and she was on Twitch, and they had this drama with somebody else, and docs, I don't know, a picture of her daughter that got shared in a Discord, and all this other crap. Non-stop freaking drama. I'm talking, oh yeah, Destiny's a lovely person. I turned off the stream. I was good. It was like, Lauren Southern and Chen, they had Alex Stein on there. Like, it was funny. They had a good group of people. I'm like, I'm digging this. This is awesome. Everyone was watching Crowder. Everyone's watching Daily Wire. But they had a really good banter going on. And then Destiny came in there, and it was like a freaking wet blanket. Just everything died. The energy, the excitement, it was all just depressing. Yeah, so normally I don't mind listening to opposing opinions, but the dude is just fucking annoying. So anyways, Cassandra, doesn't shock me one bit that she's retweeting people like this BX Bullet chick, because this gal, I followed her on Twitch, I followed her on Twitter, and after a few days of like checking out her live stream and stuff, I'm like, this girl is nothing but drama. And I'm sorry, I'm married, I got 3 kids, I'm 37 this year. If I'm gonna be dealing with drama, it needs to have a point. There needs to be a purpose for it. That's why you don't watch him? Yeah. I wanted to give him a chance because all I've ever heard about from people is Destiny is liberal, but you can talk to him. He's rational. He was like, what about Trump? What about Russia? It's like, dude, what the hell, man? Okay, that's kind of funny. Libby Emmons, another one that I kind of like in general, that I've generally liked the things she said, but yeah, but again, Libby Emmons works over at Post Millennial. Post Millennial, who does like really that Bounding in the Comics article here that they had a 12-year-old do the spell checking on. Post Millennial is typically like pretty well done, pretty good articles. For a long time, you thought Destiny was a chick. I mean, you might not be wrong. Dude, I gotta create a short with who was it? Oh, off topic, but that dude Mario Nafal, super skeezy dude. Okay, Mario Nafal. Anytime he has a Twitter space, he gets all the right wing guys, the Sebastian Gorkas, the Jack Posobiec, those kind of people flock to him. And Mario Nafal is sketchy as hell. Okay. Look up his past with Upper Echelon Gamers on here on YouTube. The dude has got some fishy shit he's been up to. But he's like an authority on everything now because he's like a big crypto guy, right? And so there was this live stream thing, this Twitter space he was doing where he was talking about the whole pronoun thing, right? And so he had Keffels in there. Everyone loves Keffels, right? And he had a whole bunch of people like Billboard Chris, Gays Against Groomers. They were all in there listening. And Keffels did this shit where this person was talking and they're like, well, I don't know your pronouns because I have never thought to ask. And Keffels is like, look at my tits. What do you think my pronouns are? I'm like, that's awfully sexist of you to assume that everyone that has boobs is a woman, right? Or uses she, her. So he said that about Destiny. I just thought about that earlier. I'm like, yeah, it's so funny, this world that we live in, that you should be able to assume, well, if it looks like a female, I can call it a female. But then you got people who are obviously women and they're non-binary, or guys like Ezra Miller that's non-binary when it suits him. So it's a very, very confusing mess that we live in. No, never. He will never publicly. He mentioned it when he had, I think it was Hotep Jesus he had on, or whoever it was that hosts the Grifty Awards for the top grifter. In the stream, when the whole Eliza Bleu thing was really kicking off, I think it was the 24 hours, 48 hours after the quartering got suspended. He mentioned it because Phil Labonte from All the Remains was on there, and he brought up the fact that the quartering got suspended and that Eliza Bleu was behind it. And so Tim made a joke about how, oh yeah, I even hear that Eliza's up for a Grifty Award this year, right? I think that's the only time you're ever going to hear Tim mention it. I doubt he's ever going to address it, because did he ever talk about Jack Murphy? He never mentioned him. And they got so much money in super chats. People were like literally trying to bribe him to even say Jack Murphy's name. And they did that for like, what, a week? Where the entire chat in Timcast was nothing but Jack Murphy. And they still wouldn't mention it. So no, he's never going to address this. He's not going to denounce her. Because if I'm being fair, Tim doesn't have to denounce her, because when it comes down to it, she was just a guest on his show. She's had like, what, 1, maybe 2 appearances on there ever? That's not a big deal. But what he does need to address, and he never will, is the fact that there's so much bias and so much protection that she got. If she was anybody else, he would have reported on it. He would have talked about it. He didn't do a single one of his own podcast segments about it. Yeah, I mean the Adam Krigler thing I didn't even catch because I think I started watching Timcast after Adam Krigler was no longer on there. He might have something to hide about Eliza Bleu, who knows? But I missed the entire Adam Krigler thing. I never caught a single piece of that. So that was a little before I think I started watching Timcast. But yeah, there's been so much. I mean, okay, what about if Tim said I didn't know? How could I have? He would have been fine. Yeah, exactly. What about? Hey, have you guys noticed that Seamus, the guy that does Freedom Tunes on YouTube, he hasn't been on Timcast in like, God, what is it, like 3, 4, 5 months? And the crazy thing about that is Seamus was like, he was like best buds with Timcast. I mean, I think he did a lot of the cartoon work for Chicken Ranch, didn't he? Chicken Ranch, Chicken City. You think he paid Eliza to come on? I mean, technically that's kind of unethical if he did, because like, to be fair, ugly people, this is how I win. See, this is the stuff that Cassandra would post that I'd crack up about. She'd retweet that kind of funny shit. Glenn Greenwald. I like Glenn Greenwald, only because I know that he's not like some hardline right-winger, and he's very honest, but again, I've never heard him speak. I judge a lot about like how I get a vibe about somebody based on how they speak and how they present themselves. So I don't know. You don't think Ian and him got along, huh? I don't know that Ian gets along with anybody, or that if he doesn't get along with anybody, that anybody would care. Ian is so, I'm just the chill, like, I'm the guy that's like all metaphysical, and I've done all the drugs, and I've done all this experimenting and stuff. So Ian is like their weird uncle that they just kind of like ignore, or they pat him on the head, or they just like, okay, shut up, Ian. We're talking about something else now. Eliza protested very hard that Tim never paid. Makes me think Tim did pay. Oh. Yeah, but Timcast, I mean, okay. Now, let's be fair. Timcast is big enough that they don't need to pay to have people get on. I mean, look, if Timcast, if I hit 10,000 subscribers, if I hit 20,000 subscribers, if I was big enough to even be noticed, and Tim Pool called me or texted me or sent me an email and said, hey, we'd like to have you on the show. How does next September work? I'd be like, done. You know, I'd buy the plane ticket myself. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't have questions or I wouldn't speak my mind, but it's like, I don't think he needs to pay somebody to show up. What is Streamlabs doing? Oh, hey, that's my Twitch one. So you're gonna have to, excuse me, guys. I've got, Ian seems fake like a paid actor. In the last episode Seamus was on, Ian said Seamus drinks too much, kind of insulting him. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm going to make a new Discord, guys, so ignore the Discord thing. My Discord right now is just kind of like, I've had it for 3 years. It was from my Twitch streaming days, and it's only like me and 5 guys that are in there. And we really don't talk politics and stuff in there because it gets a little messy. But I'm going to make a new Discord, I think, for my YouTube channel. That's to be determined. I don't know. I have so many Discords that I use. Discord gets to be a bit annoying. Ian is good on Tim's other show, Pop Culture Crisis. I have not watched Pop Culture Crisis. To be fair, the only reason I haven't is because I watch Yellow Flash, Razor Fist, Quartering. Who else? God, I watch so much pop culture. I've got pop culture coming out my ears. Oh, Robot Head, Nerdrotic. Overlord DVD, Clownfish TV, Melanie Mac. Who else we got? Young, yeah. We got that Umbrella guy. I don't really watch his content. He was more like during the whole Amber Heard thing. God, I love Razor Fist. Anytime Razor Fist gets a new video out, I get so excited. It's like a little kid. Tim does pay for the travel fees, like the tickets. You've heard that from several people. Dude, that's fair. I think paying travel for people is definitely, that's admirable, because not everybody would offer that. And not everyone's in a position like, well, let's say it's not Hassan or somebody who's just like flaking out because they don't want to actually have to. Oh. Little teaser, guys. My wife sent me an article on this, and I'd already seen a video about it. next video is going to be covering this thing here. So this is the most disturbing thing I've ever fucking read in my life. Ian was actually on a short run of being normal in January, then he went back into character. Really? Somehow I missed that. But again, I don't watch Timcast IRL very often unless there's a guest that I want to watch. Like when they had the whole Candace Owens was on there, and then Steven Crowder was on there. I watched both of those just because I wanted to see like the back and forth of the opinions and stuff. But typically, if I watch Timcast, it's just the little 20-30 minute segment in the middle of the day when I'm at work. I'll put my earphones in and listen to that. So like I don't love hating on Tim Pool all the time because, like, you know, he does. I hate the whole he does good work thing. That was what everyone did with Eliza Bleu. Is, oh, but what does it matter? She's doing good work. What fucking good work is she doing? Nobody knows that she's doing good work because there's no proof of what she's doing. That was the biggest thing for me that bothered me about Eliza Bleu. She got famous riding the coattails of supposedly removing a hashtag and being buddy-buddy with Elon. And then all of a sudden, all these people are all interviewing her like she's some freaking expert on some shit. And we're like, what did she actually do? Like, what did she accomplish? Candace Owens destroyed herself. Oh my god, dude. She lost her mind. Okay. And I hate it. Because I understand both sides of the argument. I really do. I understand the Daily Wire side of it, and I understand Crowder's side of it. I don't have to necessarily side with either one. But Candace Owens, she just she looked like a maniac and made herself, okay, talking about that being authentic, that authenticity thing. When she was on Timcast, nothing that Candace Owens said or did or the way she looked or the way she presented herself seemed authentic. It seemed calculated, bitter, condescending, snide. It just, none of it seemed like a woman that was hurt. It seemed like somebody who was like on the attack from the time they got there. Pop Culture Crisis is a good show. Co-hosts of the show are cool. Oh, okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, you can't question her work without getting censored on it. And I'm telling you guys, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but like, I mean, look, so I'm actually really impressed. I'm happy that the Hogwarts Legacy video is doing so well because I went back and listened to it. I sounded dead in the video. I recorded it at like 12:30 last night. I was exhausted. I still had to edit it. I was up till like 1:30 in the morning trying to get it done. I uploaded it at like 10 o'clock this morning. But it seems to be doing okay. My Eliza Bleu video was at 21,000 views like 48 hours in. And in 4, 5, 6 more days, it's only racked up like 2,000 or 3,000 views. So I'm wondering how much reach Eliza really has with YouTube. You know? You didn't know her at all. She seemed very emotional and left. Yeah, no, okay, so if you don't know anything about Candace Owens, I don't want to jump down this rabbit hole. Okay, what was it called? Does anybody remember what the whole thing about Candace Owens was? About her past. She used to be a leftist. She used to dox people. Social Autopsy? I think it was called Social Autopsy. I'm going to Google this. Hang on. Okay, Jeremy said he might be very close to seeing Eliza. Wait. Oh, you wonder if Crowder would cover Eliza. Oh. Candace Owen let her old leftist self out. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so I've never looked into Social Autopsy. So hang on a second. Let me see here. If you jinx me, there's nothing we can say. So jinx each other, because if I get jinxed, I'm going to bed. All right. Don't judge me for using Google. Okay, I'm just too lazy to install another browser. Social Autopsy. Candace. Okay. I mean, Wikipedia is, we all know, it's ideologically left. It's possessed by people who are crazy activists, but... Oh, hang on a second. Well, we could go to the quartering on Twitter, but I don't think he expounded on this. Jeremy Masu, he's been talking to legal counsel. Yes, because she's privacy complaining all of the videos. I'm just going to go to Wikipedia. Okay. Privacy violation. She was part of Gamergate? What? Okay, here's the crazy thing. I'm 37 in June, and I didn't know Gamergate was going on at the time because I was too busy working, being married, having kids, and playing video games. So it's so funny that somebody that actually was, I mean, it's not, I'm not like the world's biggest gamer. I'm not a fake gamer. I've grown up playing video games my entire life. Hell, I was streaming on Twitch for 3 years. But like, I know that streaming on Twitch doesn't make you a gamer. Please don't judge me based on what I just said. But long story short, like, I've played video games my whole life, okay? I'm pretty damn good at them. But when Gamergate was going on, I was just playing video games as part of my every other evening routine. So I didn't even know Gamergate was a thing. Will he sue alone or as a group? I mean, here's the thing. I don't have any money to throw at a lawsuit. But if my video gets a privacy complaint against it, then I will definitely contact him. She was part of the Right Now, so Google will show you. I only knew about Gamergate from Sargon. Yeah. Oh god, I love Sargon. I call Sargon daddy. I mean, I'm sure my wife finds it creepy, but Sargon is so freaking awesome. All right, let's go 2015. Hang on, which cat's meowing? I'm cat sitting for my mom, so I've got my cat over there and this cat over here. It's not mine that's meowing, so whatever. Okay. In 2015, Owens was CEO of Degree 180, a marketing agency that offered consultation, production, and planning services. The website included a blog written by Owens, which frequently posted anti-conservative and anti-Trump content, including mockery of his penis size. Why? Okay. I get it. He's probably not packing because he's old and fat. Who knows? Maybe he's got the biggest schlong on the planet. But the point is, why is it that that's always the thing they go to? Like, I don't like the dudes. Okay. Part of my thing with like guys like Crowder, I don't do the whole man cave. I mean, I would like to have a man cave, but I don't do the whole drinking hard liquor, smoking cigar. It's just not my personality. It's not something I've ever done. I don't get into like that traditional masculine, oh, let's go have a cigar with the boys. You know, your son's born, let's have a cigar. It's just not my thing. So I understand mocking kind of some of the stereotypical macho personality traits and behavior. I get it. I don't see anything wrong with having a cigar or having a drink, but like I kind of get the parody of it a little bit. But why is it that leftists, when they find out you have a gun, when they find out that you're not a complete wacko, why is it they always go after penis size? And they're the ones that want to tell you that, you know, you can switch genders and that you can do all these crazy things, but penis size is the first thing that they attack. I don't understand this. Maybe you can join a group soon. I mean, we'll see if it happens. I don't know. I'm hoping that my video escapes, but I'm not gonna let that video get taken down. I mean, that video in a year could have 20,000 more views. I can't afford to take that down. No way. Okay, so in a 2015 column that Owens wrote for the site, she criticized conservative Republicans, writing about the batshit crazy antics of the Republican Tea Party, adding, "The good news is they will eventually die off peacefully in their sleep, we hope, and then we can get right on with the obvious social change that needs to happen immediately." Okay, first question I have, and I'm sure maybe one of you guys knows, was Candace Owens married at the time that she wrote this? Because 2015 was only 8 years ago. I know that she's married. I'm pretty sure she has kids. Some people don't care about the political party that their significant other or spouse is part of. But something about this doesn't set right with me. How could you be married? How could you have kids and have this ideology, and then suddenly it just flips and you have this political transformation and you're no longer thinking that way? If everyone stands together, she'll have a hard time blasting everyone. I mean, I think we've done a pretty good job. She's privated her account. The hashtags, I don't know if they're still trending or not. Let's see. Free Britney Venti. Let's see if that one's still going. Free the nipples. No. Free Britney Venti. Does it tell you how many people have used the hashtag on here? She's very recently married. Okay. Okay, in that case, that kind of makes that a little bit more plausible. I'm just thinking to myself, thinking out loud, if you have somebody who's this ideologically possessed and you're married and that person's okay with it, how do you just wake up one day and go, no, honey, we're going to switch sides? Oh, okay, dear, whatever you say, you know? You watched an interview with her husband. Okay, thank you, that's helpful. Appreciate it. I think she realized she could make money as a token black conservative. God, I hate that so much, but you're probably right. You guys need to watch the Babylon Bee video with the one black friend that they all have. Oh my god, it's hilarious. It is so good. You get manic Joker vibes from Candace. Maybe she wants to be the next Harley Quinn. Or Harry Quinn. Which one is it? Is it Harry or Harley? Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. Okay. So let's go to 2016. Privacy violation, Gamergate, and political transformation. Owens launched socialautopsy.com in 2016, a website she said would expose bullies on the internet by tracking their digital footprint. The site would have solicited users to take screenshots of offensive posts and send them to the website, where they would be categorized by the user's name. She used crowdfunding on Kickstarter, another just complete dumpster of a website. Kickstarter's a great idea, but they have literally like shut down so many people because of the wrong political opinions, you know? It's asinine. Okay. The proposal was immediately controversial, drawing criticism that Owens was anonymizing internet or doxing internet users and violating their privacy. According to the Daily Dot, which is complete garbage, people from all sides of the anti-harassment debate were quick to criticize the database, calling it a public shaming list that would encourage doxing and retaliatory harassment. Both conservatives and progressives involved condemned the website. Well, that's good. In response, people began posting Owen's private details online. Okay. You know that chart, that F around and find out graph? I mean, you can't have much sympathy for somebody who brings that on themselves. I mean, I'm just sorry. It's just the way it goes. In response, people began posting her details online. With scant evidence, Owens blamed the doxing on progressives. After this, she earned the support of conservatives involved in the Gamergate harassment campaign, including right-wing political commentators and Trump supporters Milo Yiannopoulos and Mike Cernovich. Subsequently, Owens became a conservative, saying in 2017, "I became a conservative overnight. I realized that liberals were actually the racists, the liberals were actually the trolls. Social autopsy is why I'm conservative." Oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm so suspect about these two guys. I've got so many reservations about Milo and Cernovich. Not even like not with Milo because the whole Kanye thing. I think the Kanye thing, I don't have an honest opinion about the whole Kanye. I don't know what the hell to make out of that. That was just some batshit crazy. I think if anything, Kanye's having a mental breakdown, probably off his meds. Who knows? But like, when you're in that state of mind, if you have a good idea, it's not going to come out properly, which I think might have been what happened to Kanye. He might have had some stuff that he could have presented better and in a more understandable, less racist sounding way, I guess. I get the point he was trying to make. It just came out all wrong. But Milo and Cernovich, I'm just all... It's like a who's who of conservative grifters. Right? Yeah, so somebody claimed... Let me see what they have to say. I'm really curious to see what Wikipedia has to say about Mike Cernovich. Because somewhere in between Cernovich's opinion of himself and what he puts out there and the left-wing Wikipedia side of it, somewhere in the middle is the truth, I imagine. Don't know why people think he's some kind of enlightened leader. I don't know. You know what it was? To be honest, I think it was the conservative. You know, if you're white and conservative, you're terrified to criticize a black man. And so the minute you have a black man that's like, hey, I'm on your side, you go, yay, he's one of us now. Look, we have a black... It's the whole black friend thing. It's like, there are plenty of black conservatives. I don't understand what ever created this need for us to like tokenize black people, because there are plenty of black conservatives. Hey, thanks for the subscription. I appreciate it. It's so weird. I'm so used to streaming on Twitch, and these are all like my my Twitch alerts. And so I'm actually not streaming to Twitch right now. This is the first time I've ever streamed to YouTube exclusively and not Twitch at the same time. I'm kind of like, you know, fuck Twitch, whatever. Not saying this is a good source, but interesting story. Going through a messy divorce and is also trying to articulate his frustrations with how contracts in Hollywood exploit people, but he just wasn't very good at expressing it. And yeah, and okay. Rich and black and popular, you guess? Yeah, exactly. So here's my thing about Kanye. Is he wrong that a lot of famous, rich, influential people are Jewish? No. So in his opinion, it's Jewish people that have wronged him. I get that. But just like saying all black people or all white people or all Jewish people, you can't let yourself go off the deep end and be like, yeah, see, it's all Jewish people. Do you mean that they're all Jewish or it's all Jewish people? Like, I had some sympathy for Timcast. I'm not gonna lie. I had some sympathy for Tim Pool and the guys that were on there because they're like, yeah, you could tell they wanted to shut him up. I get it. They probably just shouldn't have invited him on in the first place. They should have just said, you know what? This is gonna be too spicy for us. Let him go on InfoWars, which the InfoWars thing was freaking amazing. I gotta say. With enough press, people tend to fold under pressure. Yeah, you know, it's not that I think Kanye is necessarily thinks that he's like, I don't know. I don't want to try to pretend to know what Kanye's thinking. He's speaking truth, but he's not able to craft words in a way that makes people comfortable. Right. And he's not able to do it in a way that does justice to his point, I think is more my thinking on it. He has a point about certain people that are in certain, like my wife was telling me about the whole Rothschild thing and the rabbit hole you can go down there. It's like somewhere in there's a kernel of truth, I'm sure. And that is where people expound upon it, and maybe they get it wrong sometimes. But look at the whole conspiracy theorist thing, guys. I mean, the entire last 3 years where they're like, oh, that's just a right-wing conspiracy theory. And slowly but surely it goes from conspiracy theory to, okay, well, it's not a conspiracy theory, but it doesn't happen that often, to, okay, it doesn't happen that often, to where it's like, well, it happens once in a while, but it's a good thing. And then it's like, okay, now if you don't like this thing, you're a bigot or you're racist. It's like, we've gone from conspiracy theory never happens to it happens all the time, and if you don't like it, you're the problem. Right. You know what? Maybe Tim was overconfident in his ability to control batshit crazy people, because Tim has had what's his face? Alex Smith. Not Alex, well, he's had Alex Smith and Alex Jones, and he's had as Joe Rogan and Alex Jones were both in Tim's portable trailer thing a couple years ago. Like, he's had some big personalities on there. Not that Joe Rogan's going to say something that gets Tim in trouble, but Alex Smith will. Alex Jones will. Alex Smith is funny, but definitely not as volatile as Alex Jones. Considering so many conspiracy theories are coming true every day, we need a new word like conspiracy fact. Or just like why don't we call it future truth? Let's do that. Instead of conspiracy, we should just call it future fact or future truth or pre-truth or pre-fact, you know? Because we know it's going to happen. I mean, guys, we have the price of eggs in some places is like, what, $8 for 2 dozen eggs? And all of a sudden, one of the largest egg manufacturing plants in the country goes up in a blaze. I mean, don't call me a conspiracy theorist, but holy crap, right? I think a lot of it has to do with how people react when during the 2010 you talked about white people. When you talked about white people holding him down, no one had a problem. Yeah, and that's fair. He said he had love for everyone. What if some asked how much he loved plantation owners? I doubt he would react the same. I don't know, because think about it this way. This is a weird connection, but like, you have like the radical, like extreme Islamist, Islamic religious states, like the ones over in Iran and Syria and all that stuff. They actually look up to Hitler, and Hitler was very much into eugenics and hated anybody who wasn't white, blonde hair, blue eyed. And then Kanye is over here defending Hitler because Hitler, and he was wrong about what Hitler did. He claimed that Hitler invented some things that actually had nothing to do with Hitler. So I think Kanye is just all over the place, to be honest. You think he would say, yeah, I think so. Yes. Okay, so isn't that funny that Tim, now granted, Tim has lived in a place for a while that has plenty of opportunity to have farm areas and acreage and plantation, and like Tim probably has not just his own chicken farm, he probably has acres where he pays somebody to do all their I'm sure they grow all their own produce and shit. I mean, more power to him. I would be doing the same thing if I could. I can't even afford to buy a quarter acre over here where I'm at. But to be fair, like, it is kind of funny timing that Tim Pool has been pushing his whole chicken city thing, and now all of a sudden we've got a chicken shortage, and he can just walk right out, and he's like a billionaire in eggs, right? I mean, I don't know what the conversion rate's going to be in the next year or whatever. If egg prices and production doesn't get stabilized a little bit here, I mean, it's going to be like 1 carton of eggs is going to be cheaper or more expensive than a case of ammo. I know, right? Honestly, that's the one thing if I were Tim that I'd be worried about. You can rebuild your property. You can, put up a new fence. They've got security guards. They've got cameras. Everyone there's got guns. They're all armed. But if somebody comes in and kills or steals his chickens, right now, I don't think you can find chickens. Like, I'm sure that there's a chicken shortage. I mean, we have this thing going on. Let me pull this up here. Let's see. Was it the avian flu? Yeah. And apparently this is going to put a damper on egg production as well. No, not the Arctic blast. Why am I in USA Today? This is nothing but freaking ads. Where's the story? Here, let's go back a second. Oh, because it's a pop-up in itself. I see. You get rid of the ad, the story goes away. Your mom's bringing over a carton of eggs from her neighbors today? Nice. One of the world's largest outbreaks of bird flu. Mute site, we're already muted, good. Which led to the slaughter of millions of chickens to limit its spread, appears to be spilling over into mammals. This is going to get fun. The chicken feed conspiracy? I don't think I've heard that one. But I'll get into any conspiracy. Again, a conspiracy 9 times out of 10 is just a future fact or a pre-fact or whatever. All right, U.S. Department of Agriculture said the avian influenza A virus has been detected in mammals such as skunks, bears, a raccoon, and a red fox. Oh boy. Though most cases were detected in Oregon. Oh my god, that's just south of me. Oh, why? Why? Oh my god. Yeah, I need to redo these notifications. Positive tests in mammals were confirmed in the following states, according to the USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services: Alaska, Colorado, Idaho, Illinois, Montana, Nebraska, New York, and my home state, Washington. Fantastic. Meanwhile, in the UK, the Animal and Plant Health Agency found positive cases in otters and foxes. The agency also had a cat tested positive in France. Yeah. And the highly contagious pathogen caused a large outbreak in a Spanish mink farm. I didn't even think that mink farms were a thing anymore. The chicken feed is preventing chickens from laying eggs. Oh, my wife was telling me, hey, you were telling me about the chickens not laying eggs, right? Yeah, my wife was telling me about this. She's my conspiracy expert. Yeah. So apparently some of the farmers have changed the feed that they were feeding them, that when they weren't laying eggs, and now switched over to the new feed. They're actually back to laying eggs now, apparently. Trying to stop Rocky movies, he won't get his eggs. I know, man. That's Now, I didn't do eggs back when I was I'm not going to say bodybuilder, but back when I was in my mid-20s and in great shape. I was eating like 3,000 calories a day because I'm an ectomorph. We don't gain weight. I've also got Crohn's disease and probably an overactive thyroid, so I shed weight like nothing. But I did never eat like raw eggs or whole eggs. I did a lot of protein powder. I did a lot of like weight gainer stuff and a ton of carbs, potatoes and chicken. I guess I did eat a lot of chicken. Just not the eggs. But yeah, I was never a raw egg eater. I don't think I could do that. Look up who the owner of the biggest synthetic egg producer is. Ooh. I'm gonna guess I guess it's either... No, not Pfizer. That'd be too on the nose. Pfizer... Well, Pfizer can't technically own stocks. You have to own stocks in Pfizer. I mean, Bill Gates is an obvious choice. They changed it to goat feed. Apparently, the chicken feed doesn't have enough nutrients to allow chickens to make eggs. Isn't that just, like, mind-blowing? All right, Bill Gates. Yeah. I'm telling you, being from the same state as Bill Gates, you kind of, when you grow up here and you're, because again, I grew up in the pioneer days of the internet. So, computers were a thing. They were really expensive. Our first computer when I was like 8, so about almost 28, 29 years ago, was like a $3,000 computer. We had dial-up internet, the disk drive. You could put a disk in the computer, but it would give you an illegal operation every time. So the computer never worked properly, right? But that was like the era that I grew up in. So Bill Gates was kind of a household name only because he was from Seattle. He was, the pioneer of computers and shit. So everyone had this inflated sense of who Bill Gates really was. And it wasn't until years later that we realized that he was just some rich kid that stole somebody else's like software or whatever. Bill Gates is everything synthetic. Yeah. Bill Gates is... Have you seen those pictures of Bill Gates with the little man boobs and the belly? It's like, whatever he's eating, I'm going to do the exact opposite. Like, no, I'm not in shape right now, but I don't have those little man boobs and that big old belly that he's got going on. Granted, he does have a few years on me. Man's always looked like hell, though. Bill Gates has always looked terrible. Like, how is it possible that you have that much money? And I say this all the time about people who are like in Hollywood that are kind of out of shape and ugly. Well, more out of shape. You can't help if you're ugly. I mean, we all get ugly as we get older. But like, you have all that money, all that time, access to the best health, nutrition, sports therapists, personal trainers. You have access to all that, and somehow you just can't motivate yourself to actually get yourself looking healthy. Bill Gates looks terrible, and he always has. Probably an alien, and he keeps pushing for alien food because his alien body can't handle human food. Well, when you say alien, are you including the lizard people in there? Because technically, like, the lizard people, alien, I kind of group them all into the same thing. You could go the whole route of doing the Scientologist route, where people were particles of aliens that got vaporized and then got sprinkled onto the earth or something. I can't remember. Never goes outside. Yeah, I mean, I go outside, but here in this state, you wouldn't believe it. People that live, like, I've got friends in Texas, people that I know in like Florida and stuff, California, places that are sunny year round. We get 2 good months of sunshine in this state. The rest of the time, even if you're outside, unless you are working out in like landscaping, day in and day out, there's no sun. You got to fake and bake in this state just to have any suntan at all. Like. Without the hat on, my head is glowing right now because of how white I am. It's pretty bad. Well, you can take more vitamins, though. Like, I take multivitamins and stuff. It doesn't help with the lack of sun. Unfortunately, in this state, there's not much you can do about it. Tucker, come here. Psst, psst. Come here. Yeah, he's had enough of me. Okay. I didn't get into... Let's take a look at this Chinese balloon thing. I want to see if there's an update on it, though. This Fox News article kind of sucks. What's all of your guys' opinion on the Chinese balloon spy thing? You think it's actually a spy? You think it's a Chinese balloon tracker? We've got a tracker for this? No. Okay, look up Chinese balloon could float over... WNC. What is that? WNC? North Carolina? I don't know. The model is, and then the story disappears. There's something special about real sunlight? Yeah, no kidding. And we don't get much of that over here. Let's see. While the alien ships look like a 737 airplane. Definitely a spy thing. So, here's the crazy thing. This is, my wife was telling me this, and I'm like, no way. You're full of it. There's no way. Because cruising altitude for a jetliner is like, what, 35,000 feet, right? I mean, they can go higher than that, but typically the best cruising altitude I think is like 35,000. So let's say six miles and change up in the sky, right? It's like a TikTok balloon. Yeah, there you go. This balloon, at least one of the two balloons, is estimated to be 60,000 feet in the air. You're talking 11 and a half miles in the air. Like, how is that even possible? Okay, so this model is NOAA's high split model. This model can plot an air parcel's trajectory forward or backward in time. It's useful when tracking where air pollution or wildfire smoke may move. Balloon's estimated to be 60,000 feet in the air. Wind is much stronger at that level of the atmosphere than at Earth's surface. Even still, estimating how fast the balloon will travel is tricky. You're Swedish, you know what it feels like to not have sunlight. And we have really nice summers. I mean, typically, I would say not 4th of July, because, you know, over here, the 4th of July is the weekend for going out, barbecuing, having beer, and shooting off fireworks. So in our state, it typically rains. But July 5th on is typically really nice. So I'd say this state that I'm in between early July, mid-July, and the end of August or September, really nice summers. I'm talking most days you're going to get like 75 degrees, nice cool breeze, partly cloudy. And of course we have all the trees and the water and stuff here. So it's a pretty nice place to have for summers. The rest of the year, it's cold and wet. We don't even get snow. We might get a little sprinkling here and there. Some parts of the state get snow. Where I'm at, it's 99% of the time just going to be wet and gray. Rain is liquid sunshine. Yeah. Balloons can basically go into space. You saw a live stream of one doing that. I never knew that. I had no idea. Okay, our best guess is that the balloon will pass somewhere over Middle Tennessee early Saturday morning, likely before dawn. It is then likely to travel across southern portions of the Blue Ridge Mountains into the western part of the upstate South Carolina sometime between pre-dawn and sunrise Saturday. What about the one over Latin America? Because they reported that there was a second balloon. Sounds exactly like Sweden, except here it always rains on midsummer, of course. I mean, that's just the way it goes. It's, God, I hate pop-ups so much. Yeah, that's not even like, somebody said it was, why is this a picture? U.S. Air Force Airman First Class. I don't know what that has to do with the balloon. That is really high up. How did anybody even see it? Canada too? You mean with the weather? Well, so I've got a friend that lives about 2 hours north of me because I'm in Washington, and she's like straight up in Victoria, BC, Vancouver, whatever that's called. And so anytime that I've got shit weather, she's like, "Yep, me too." I'm like, we have basically the identical weather, because even though we're two different countries, we share a piece of land and a coast and all that, so it's identical weather. Second balloon on a grassy knoll. I mean, I don't understand. How did the balloons get here in the first place without getting detected? Are they not detectable by like via radar or something? Is it not something that we can actually detect? Makes me very uneasy. Is this muted? Okay, we'll leave that muted. My cat is howling over there. Second balloon is Canada, third is Latin America. What? James Cameron testing his new tech for Avatar 5, The Way of Balloons. I mean, I 100% was not gonna watch Avatar 2 in theater. Not that I care one way or the other about Avatar. I thought the first one was fine. That is so strange. Like, what the literal hell is going on right now? I don't know. Mind-boggling. Skynet. Oh, no, they just let it happen. So they knew it was happening and they just didn't bother to stop it. That's unbelievable. Yeah, I was really bummed. I got on and did a video about like the AI shit. I got on too soon. I should have waited a few weeks because all of a sudden like the AI stuff is all blowing up, and my video got like no love. And it was actually at the time I'm like, all right, this might be my favorite video that I've done so far. Alien cover story. I like that one better. They're sending it from China. Do they send it over the Pacific or over Europe? I would say over the Pacific, because when you look at a map, where I am in Washington, my state, and parts of Canada, Alaska, we're not that far removed from Asia. We all think about how far away it is if you think about it from west to east. But looking at it from the eastern coast of Asia to the western coast of the United States and Canada, really not that far away. You're not giving Disney money, you'll sail the high seas in Minecraft, of course. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I unfortunately am giving Disney my money for Disney Plus only because of the fact that we have kids and the kids use it, although we're almost at the point where we could cancel it. That, and as much as I'd say I'd cancel Disney Plus, I'd still be giving Disney money because of Hulu. Now, I could probably give up Hulu because we have Peacock for free through my cable. This is so insane. The amount of TV and shit that I pay for is unreal. But the only reason I pay for cable is because it makes my entire bundle with my internet cheaper, because internet on its own would be just as much as it would be to not have cable. I mean, it's such a racket. Sure, they released it from a Chinese cargo ship from the West Coast. Very likely. You don't know which way the winds usually go. Well, does anybody know if it's unmanned? Like, I'm assuming it's unmanned, but like, do they have controls? Like, is it like a drone? Is it like a remote where they can actually? You pay for your niece's Disney Plus, and yes, you're ashamed. You know what? That makes you a good uncle. That's okay. Because in general, there's certain things on Disney Plus I don't let my kids watch. But in general, it's one of those things that until it gets really bad and I can't trust them to be watching anything on there, I can kind of justify it. I told my wife a year ago I wanted to cancel Disney Plus, and she's like, but the kids watch this, the kids watch that, and they watch all the old cartoons. I'm like, I get it, but I hate giving money to Disney. On the flip side, Disney Plus is not making Disney enough money. I don't know if any of you guys have paid that much like attention about how Disney's hurting for money, but like the ticket sales at the theater is where Disney really needs to make their money to make a profit as a company. The Disney Plus subscribers, they gave away millions, at least thousands, if not millions, of free subscriptions through Verizon. Like, I'm on a family Verizon account, and apparently I could have, for the last 2 years, had free Disney Plus if I'd have signed in through our Verizon account. And that's how a lot of their subscribers are currently using Disney Plus, is for free through Verizon. So Disney's not making money through Disney Plus. That's not offsetting all the financial losses that they've taken. Sounds like a racket, yeah. Oh yeah, the classic Disney movies, I'm a sucker for. Like, of course I like the darker ones. My favorite Disney movie is Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's my all-time favorite. Beauty and the Beast, Sleeping Beauty, and Lion King, I think, are my top 4. And Hulu 2 was free, yeah. So I just wasn't smart enough to get on. It's tough when you're on a family plan. I'm like, when we had our, I used to work with my family, now it's just me and my mom. I help her with her business, and I'm kind of basically self-employed at this point. But because I've been on a family plan for so long, I'm not the account holder. I'm on the account, but it's not in my name. So I never think to do these things like, oh, bundle it with this and save $5 here, or get this for free. It's like I always think I need to have my own account if I'm going to do that. I don't know. Apparently Comcast, who I have internet and cable through, if you have a Verizon phone, you can do this whole Verizon cable phone thing and it saves you money. I'm probably going to do that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's all such a racket. The amount of money that it costs just to watch TV anymore, even if I didn't pay for any streaming services at all, my internet and cable is like $185 a month. Now, I pay for really good internet, but it's not even unlimited. I have a data cap at some point. I think it's like 1 or 2 terabytes or something. Gargoyles. Oh, man, I loved Gargoyles. There were so many good cartoons. Like, my kids discovered the Spider-Man from the 90s that I grew up watching. It might have been late 90s, early 2000s. And God, that was such a good cartoon. There were so many good cartoons out there. It's just depressing now. Cheaper to just buy Blu-rays. It absolutely is. What I've discovered, though, because Peacock, which is free still through Comcast, Peacock's got a lot of good shows on it that I still watch. And Peacock has The Office, which is my go-to-sleep TV show. I think Peacock has like all the old episodes of Frasier. I know, my boomer shows. I don't have any problem with people that pirate stuff, to be honest. To be clear, if people do it, I don't care. I just personally don't do it. You know? It's like in the same way that if somebody doesn't pay the extra 8 cents for a bag at the grocery store, I honestly do not care. It's like I don't pay for every grocery bag that I have to take at the grocery store because I'm like, well, I'll pay for 1 bag if I take 2. It's just not worth it. But I just don't, I don't know. I don't mind paying for something that I'm gonna watch. And to be fair, if you think about it like this, this is gonna sound like a stupid justification. If I pay for something, I get the right to critique it. If I pay for something, I have the right to complain about it. If it's free, bitching about it's kind of a waste of time. I don't know. In Sweden, you have 500 for about $50. Well, and the US, I don't know how the entire country of Sweden is, but in the US, it's broken up based on the amount of population, what kind of wiring it is, where you're at, what kind of, like, for example, I have a friend in Texas who has 1 gigabyte up, not 1 gigabyte? Yeah, I think it's 1 gigabyte up and download speeds and upload speeds because he's on fiber optics. Where I'm at here, it's not an option. You can steal up to 2,000 USD and won't go to jail. I mean, that is good to know. And to be honest, you're not likely. I'm not going to say you're not likely to go to jail for pirating things. That's the kind of stuff that the government, as stupid as it is, will go after you for. But it's good to know that number. The Blu-rays are fun for the behind-the-scenes stuff. It's true. Oh yeah, no, my good go-to shows, especially to go to sleep to, Boston Legal, Parks and Recreation, Frasier, The Office, obviously. We've been watching a lot of Night Court recently, and that show is funny as hell. Just like at Walmart, exactly. You got to make sure that if you're walking out of Walmart with a bag full of stuff, keep it under $900. You don't want to get in trouble. Okay, just keep it to a certain amount. And again, I mean, I'm like, I would never be caught dead doing it. In Sweden, almost everyone has fiber optic. That's crazy. Damn. Yeah, okay, so for example, my internet right now, I have basically like, I want to say it's like 800 megabyte download, and I think my upload is like 40. Pretty slow. But it's not unlimited, even though my plan had been unlimited and then my plan expired. And so I've got that internet speed, plus it's like a 1 terabyte data for the month, plus, my cable with the sports package for the kids to be able to watch like baseball and stuff. And that's like $185 a month. If I bundle my phones and add the unlimited internet, so I add my 2 cell phones, my wife's phone and my phone to our plan with the unlimited internet, we can get it down to like 150 or something. I don't know. You're watching 1883. Isn't that the one that's the spin-off of Yellowstone? Red Letter Media, I have not really paid too much attention to. I need to take a look at it. Sweden is the size of a state, absolutely. That's not a bad thing, though. And but how much time does Greta spend in Sweden is the question. I mean, let's be fair. If Greta's not actually spending much time there, she's a lot more annoying to us here because we have to listen to her. Good internet, exactly, yeah. Well, you gotta take the good with the bad, right? Unfortunately, you can never really have the best of both worlds. Well, take that back. You could in the 80s, but the 80s are long gone. Spectrum in Ohio has 600 down and 25 for 30 a month. I'm telling you, I'm getting screwed here. Part of it is, okay, you said Sweden, the America's weird because Sweden, it's mostly all fiber optic. So it's not just by state in this country. Sometimes it's by city. My town, where I live, has different internet options than if you go 60 miles to a different town. And it's not like I live in the middle of nowhere. It's just what's in the area. She's almost never doing anything here anymore. No, because the crazy weirdo American leftists have adopted her. And so now she's like our dysfunctional adopted sister that we can't get rid of. It's so messed up. I dare you into the sunset. We'd be better for all. Yeah, that'd be nice. Unfortunately, I don't think as long as the WEF and Herr Klaus has any say over it, I don't think he's going that Greta's going anywhere. Unfortunately, it's quite a bummer. But yeah, I'm gonna do a video on the birthing pods. It's gonna be kind of spicy because I'm also gonna throw in there guys like Dave Rubin buying his kids. Same with Pete Buttigieg, the whole notion of like surrogacy instead of like, and I'm okay with surrogacy for people who can't have their own kids. Don't get me wrong, or adopting, but like the notion of, well, we're two biological males and therefore we're just gonna basically rent a womb or buy a baby. It's gonna be kind of spicy. Greta's astroturfed? Oh no, I totally believe it. She reminds you of a Cabbage Patch Kid? Oh, 100%. There's no question there. Greta looks like she has that baby powder smell. Yes, Greta, okay, so a few years ago, I think before she even turned 18, I think this was like a year after she burst onto the scene, and she was like criticizing people for being wasteful and eating meat and the whole, how she was going to take the sailboat and then they flew her back, right? Somebody got a picture of Greta on a train, headed from like one place to the other, eating like a hamburger with the cheeseburger wrapper and her milkshake and all that crap. I think Greta's losing her power. They'll have to find a new, younger replacement. She's falling out of the spotlight. I mean, let me ask you this. What happens to the WEF after Klaus Schwab dies? Because he's not a young guy. And he's kind of like the architect of the whole thing. Like, do they have some... Well, Justin Trudeau. That's who will take over. Uncomfortable with paying for surrogacy? Yeah. I've got a very, very mixed feeling on a lot of it. I'm not even a fan of in vitro. And I have a niece and a nephew that were conceived and born via in vitro. So while I'm happy that they are both alive and well, I'm not a... It's a very complicated thing to, try to nitpick and figure out how you feel about it. But yeah, surrogacy and in vitro and in test tube babies and stuff, it's all very... Okay, there may be a brain in the jar, but unfortunately people are forgetting how to use them. So even if there's a brain in a jar, it's not going to do anybody any damn good. So it's like, what's the point? Better off preserving our private parts than our brains. We use them more than our brains these days. All right, what time is it? Because I probably... Oh my, it's almost midnight here. You guys are awesome. I have got to hit the hay because not that I got work tomorrow. I got a laundry list of stuff. I got kids that are starting Little League in about a month, and their evaluations are coming up in a week. And then I've got some Etsy stuff to catch up on, and I've got to get homeschool curriculum put together for the next week for the kids. So I got a full weekend. It's gonna be crazy. Your brain won't function well without a healthy body. Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, I follow this account on Twitter, Carnivorous Aurelius or something. It's this guy that's like all about don't eat seed oils, eat meat, don't eat vegetables, eat meat. And to be fair, there's a lot of like that carnivore diet stuff that I'm sure has actual legitimacy. But he starts doing this thing about like don't touch paper receipts and don't touch this. It's like, okay, how much are we gonna possibly be able to avoid in our day-to-day lives? Like, us modern humans put too much focus on the brain. Yeah, and that's funny because like I said, people have less common sense, despite the fact that there's more people than ever attending college, more people that are going to school for a degree that they'll never use, and yet the emphasis on actual common sense and just like logical thinking, rational thinking, it just doesn't exist. Summarize why trans hate Hogwarts. Is it goblins? Trans hate Hogwarts. They don't. Here's why. Transgender people, or at least the ones that are, it's not all transgender people, the ones who are the activists that are hating on the Harry Potter game, they love Harry Potter. They hate that it was written by J.K. Rowling, who, despite being a very liberal woman, she's a progressive feminist, she's friends with lesbians and gay people, she's very progressive, very liberal. They hate her because she said biological men don't belong in women's rooms, in women's bathrooms. They hate her because she believes biological males shouldn't be in female spaces. So what they're mad about is that they feel like they're not allowed to enjoy Harry Potter because of her view on the whole bathroom thing, okay? They're just pissed off. They're angry. And the funny thing is, I don't like J.K. Rowling. I don't have any love for her. I've never read Harry Potter. I'm like, she's just another liberal author, whatever, okay? But if I decided one day that I loved Harry Potter, I wouldn't have to agree with her politics to enjoy Harry Potter. The thing is, they're so damn ideologically possessed that they have to... It's the people that cancel people because, oh, this guy's pro-choice, or he's pro-life, or he's this or that, and so I have to cancel the company because the owner has this one viewpoint. They're just mad that she doesn't have the same worldview as them. You know? Trust your gut, your brain's easily confused? Yeah. Oh, gut health. You're talking to somebody with Crohn's disease. Gut health? Well, I've got Crohn's disease, and I got a herniated disc in my back that I've had for 10 years. Your nervous system and your gut. Those are two things you just don't fuck with. Okay, those are two things that you want to keep functioning, you know? Joe Rogan says your brain won't work well without a lot of healthy physical exercise. I think that's true. Your brain just functions. Honest to God, your mental health, your mental well-being, your ability to process new ideas even, I think all function better when you're in a better physical, healthy condition. 100%. The bank in Harry Potter is a real church, and it happened to have a Star of David in the marble floor. It really was just a coincidence. The goblins are not Jewish. Yeah. Might be insufferable lefty, but Harry Potter is based on old mythical stories, so it can't help but be conservative. Right. And so they desperately want Harry Potter to be something that it's not because they really like Harry Potter. And that's what it comes down to. They read the books, and in their mind, it might have been one thing that they loved about it. And then they find out that the person who wrote it doesn't agree with everything in their worldview. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Right, and you can... Oh, I said I was going to go, but I have to finish on this. The whole H.P. Lovecraft thing is like how they tried to cancel Gone with the Wind. Sure, Gone with the Wind, or old movies like Holiday Inn, or things that have like people doing blackface and stuff, or references that you may not like, or terminology they used for people. Just because we don't use that terminology now because now we deem it more offensive or outdated or antiquated, doesn't mean that you have to cancel people 80 years after they're dead. Why can't people look at things that used to be and say, look, it was a different time. We can still watch it without being offended because those people aren't the same people that exist today. They don't, you know? Your girlfriend pre-ordered it like months ago. If I was into Harry Potter, I'd be more interested in playing it. The game, the gameplay that I borrowed from that YouTuber, I tagged him in the video. The gameplay looks really good. The game looks really nicely polished. It looks very, very well done. I just don't have any connection to Harry Potter, you know? So for me personally, I don't have any overarching reason to go out and buy it. So mad we never got the new Dunwich Horror. We were going to get that movie. I would have been so happy. I mean, the funny thing is that that I didn't really get into Stephen King books. I always thought Stephen King is just a fucking weirdo, so I just didn't really do the whole Stephen King thing. But I never watched the original It movie, and then I watched It, the new adaptation, and I thought it was really freaking good, right? But then I didn't watch the sequel, and everyone's like, yeah, don't do it. And I wonder how bad the sequel honestly is. It's like saying H.P. Lovecraft was anti-vaccine. Well, that's not fair. Vaccines weren't really a thing back then. Exactly. So the funniest thing too is the fact that, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole, oh God, it's like, what can you even say on YouTube? You know, I neglected to get this current round of this wonderful, you know, poke that they've been giving out for the last 3 years because I don't do flu shots. Why would I do the other shot? I've never had a flu shot in my life. I was born in a time where you could choose to have your kids vaxxed or unvaxxed. I have 2 brothers that had their childhood vaccines, and me and one of my brothers didn't because of the bad reactions that my older siblings had. I'm 37 this year, and I've never had a problem from not having childhood shots. Now, my kids got all their initial shots. Like, I'm not anti-vaccine like people would make me out to be. I didn't love having my kids get their shots, but I didn't have any medical knowledge to counter my own personal opinion. So I'm like, you know what? Best thing to do is have them get their childhood ones. I'm not going to be that crazy person that drags them off to get their flu shot because they're not going to be immunocompromised. They don't need to get a flu shot. But yeah, the whole anti-vax thing, my God. What a distorted, deranged, twisted way of interpreting something in a way that you want to present it when the reality is far from the way that you're presenting it. Like, honest to God, look at people like Scott Adams, that man, the guy that writes Dilbert. Dude literally had COVID, like, melted that man's brain to the point where he was calling everybody anti-vaxxers, and now he's coming out going, well, I guess you guys were right, but there's no way you could have known. You got all your shots too and got the flu every time. Anecdotal story. Nobody in my immediate family has ever had the Rona shot, okay? Nobody in my immediate family. Except my brother who's in the military, who's been loaded full of it, and he has had the worst go of that particular illness out of any of us. I'm talking, he was sick as a dog, 104-degree fever, down on his ass for a week in quarantine. And he's the only one that's been loaded full of the shot. So, in your country, only really old people get flu shots? Yes, but isn't Sweden one of those countries where people are just naturally healthier? Like, more active lifestyle, better diets, they don't get sick as often. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Sweden's one of those countries. Oh boy. Okay, guys, I do really actually have to go to bed. But this has been awesome. This has been absolutely fantastic. You guys are amazing. This is the first time I've ever live streamed, and like I said, not streamed to Twitch. So this has been YouTube only, and I love it. So I'm going to be probably taking a nice long hiatus from going back to that dumpster fire, you know? They had to get it both ways. Sicker than you and they got COVID. Yeah. It's like I said, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty about it. Got a cat at my feet here. But good food and love being outdoors. Oh, absolutely. That's the way to be. Yeah, thanks Invictus, and thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it. And I'm gonna get going, guys, but probably in the next 4 or 5 days I'll have another video going. And like I said, it's gonna be about that whole birthing pod, custom designer baby shit, so keep an eye out for that. Hey, Edgar, I appreciate it, yeah. Godzilla, thank you. Justin, who else we got in here? Well, at least that's the ones I saw recently. Which smells like mustard. Okay, I was gonna send the screenshot on YouTube. I was gonna post a picture. I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna give this woman any free clout. I went to Twitch to live stream the other night, and then I just said, screw it, I don't feel like streaming. I open up the Twitch browser, and it's this woman with her gigantic knockers hanging out. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know? Loyan or Lojan 1990.